Southeast Georgia and the Lowcountry. This is WJCL 22 Morning News. See us now.
The family of a bride killed in a crash only minutes after her wedding, sending out a message to the drunk driver that took her life.
A shocking twist in the unsolved murder of a mom after more than 30 years. How an arrest in our area moved the case forward.
Plus, looming concerns about the U.S. being in danger of defaulting on its debt. Why a South Carolina congresswoman says she's not worried.
We want to thank you so much for waking up with us right here on WJCL 22. Good morning. I'm Emma Hamilton.
And I'm Frank Sulkowski. Hold on to your hats. Meteorologists Jonathan Myers and Melissa Hall this morning. And Melissa's going to have a look at that forecast. Jonathan, another breezy day on tap.
Yeah, were you doing that yesterday, Frank? Hold on to that hat.
Oh, holding on to it nice and firm.
Yeah, absolutely. More gusty winds again today. Those winds, just like the last several days now, could be gusting over 30 miles per hour later this afternoon. Another cool start as well. Temperatures low to mid 50s as we start off 61 at 9. Sunshine will take you all the way through the daytime at noon, 70, 76 by 3 o'clock. Most of us will be mid to upper 70s throughout the afternoon. Look at all the clear skies again this morning. No weather system anywhere near us. The only thing is that low well to our north across the northeast. That will give us another day with those breezy conditions later this afternoon. And like I said, a nice spring day for us with sunshine, dry weather all the way through the rest of the work week. Not until the weekend, though, before we see that chance for some showers. I'll detail more of those breezy conditions today and looking ahead to the upcoming weekend in less than 10 minutes.
She said, I want this night to last forever. And that probably was 40 minutes before the drunk driver plowed her down.
Well, this morning, the family of a South Carolina woman killed just minutes after her wedding. They're warning others about the dangers of drinking and driving. Now, we've told you Samantha Miller died Friday in a crash in Folly Beach.
She was still wearing her wedding dress when someone crashed into the back of her golf cart, driving around 60 miles per hour. Her husband is recovering this morning from a brain injury and several broken bones. A woman named Jamie Komorowski is facing charges. Police say that she could barely stand and was uncooperative, refusing to take a sobriety test. Miller's family says that they're struggling to forgive that woman who hit them.
I don't want to forgive this person who killed my sister because she made a terrible mistake that has changed our lives and a lot of lives forever.
Your decision to just, risk it, and you're actually risking somebody else's life, and you just ruined I don't know how many people's lives. This girl just impacted so many people.
According to our ABC affiliate up in Charleston, a judge denied her bond.
A breakthrough in the murder case of a mom from Michigan following an arrest in the Lowcountry. A man arrested in Beaufort County is facing charges in the murder of Kathy Swartz. Authorities say she was killed in her apartment back in 1988 while her daughter was in the next room. Detectives had found evidence, including fingerprints. Fast forward to this past Sunday when Beaufort County deputies arrested Robert Waters. Michigan police said DNA evidence tied him to the crime scene. Authorities are working to extradite Waters back to Michigan. Well, happening today, Savannah officials will celebrate the completion of a major project. Our Nikaya Carrero joining us live this morning from here in Savannah to tell us all about it. Good morning, Nikaya.
Good morning, Frank. I'm here at the landfill that sits right off of Dean Forest Road, where an expansion project has come to an end after years of hard work. Take a look at this map on your screen showing you exactly where we are on Dean Forest Road, not far from Highway 17. This is where officials will gather today to talk about the completion of the landfill expansion project. It's made up of 3 cells across 60 acres of land. The new cells are lined with a base layer of clay to keep rainwater from dripping through to prevent water supply contamination. Yesterday, Mayor Van Johnson talked about the improvements it will bring to our area.
This $28 million project will now add about 15 to 20 years of life on our existing landfill. And so we invite you to come out as we talk about trash. And we talk trash, but we celebrate the completion of this project.
Now, we are expecting to learn much more about this expansion project during an event happening later today. Frank, back to you.
All right, thanks so much. Our Nakaya Carrera live for us this morning from Savannah. Thanks, Nakaya.
The search for two missing teens has ended with a gruesome discovery. ABC's Andrea Fujii tells us what we know after authorities found 7 bodies on their neighbor's property.
This morning, we're learning more about the 7 bodies found on this Oklahoma property belonging to a registered sex offender. Among them, police say 2 teenage girls recently reported missing, along with the bodies of 39-year-old convicted rapist Jesse McFadden, his wife, and 3 children.
It hasn't hit me just yet. I still think she's standing right behind me or going to walk down these steps.
Nathan Brewer's 16-year-old daughter, Brittany, and her friend, 14-year-old Ivy Webster, were at a sleepover at the McFadden's home. Their families say the girls were friends with the McFadden's teen daughter. When Brittany and Ivy didn't come home, an Amber Alert was issued.
It was so hard because I feel like at that point I knew.
What they say they didn't know was that McFadden had been released from prison in 2020 after serving 17 years of a 20-year sentence for rape.
He never did anything personally where we were like,
Okay, so you didn't know his history?
No, we had no idea.
Now the girls' parents are pushing for change.
Any second that I could save to save some other children to make a change is what I want to do. And if I can tell Ivy's story and tell our story and get our government officials and everybody to start speaking up loud and keeping these pedophiles in jail.
A woman who testified against McFadden, leading to his conviction in 2003, says he never should have been released from prison.
He had actually held a knife to my throat that night and told me if I told anybody that he would kill me.
McFadden was still entangled with the law. He was due in court Monday, the day the bodies were found, on child porn and other charges.
McFadden's mother-in-law says his family didn't know about his criminal past until just a few months ago. As for the 7 bodies found, police are still investigating how each victim died and who's responsible. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
And because the court will not act, Congress must.
Right now, people are demanding new ethics standards for Supreme Court justices. The concerns stem from reports about financial ties between Savannah native Justice Clarence Thomas and a GOP megadonor. The Supreme Court is the only branch of government lacking an enforceable ethics code. Now, a Democrat-led Senate Judiciary Committee is pushing for justices to follow the same rules applied to other federal judges.
Only Supreme Court justices refuse to allow their conduct to be investigated.
We're going to push back as hard as we can and tell the American people the truth about what's going on here. This is not about making the court better. This is about destroying a conservative court.
All 9 Supreme Court justices signed a statement pushing back on the new rules, saying that they adhere to a voluntary code of conduct.
Well, this morning, there are growing concerns about the U.S. being in danger of defaulting on its debt for the first time in history. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says President Biden and House Republicans have until June 1st to prevent the default. This would impact millions of Americans, including Social Security recipients and federal workers. But South Carolina Representative Nancy Mace explains why she's not so concerned.
And when it comes to default, it is a slight scare tactic because in terms of tax revenues today, we get 11 times in terms of the tax revenue as the interest on the debt. So we're not going to default. And through the appropriations process, we can prioritize spending as needed. But the president and the Senate ought to come to the table and work together with Republicans and make some decisions about how we move forward and take on spending in the debt.
May says $31 trillion is too much for Americans to absorb any longer. Melissa.
Let's take a live look at your Wednesday morning commute. We are starting off in Savannah, where there are no issues this morning. Making your way out in the low country, you can expect the same. Things moving along very nicely. So as you make your way in from Beaufort, getting on Robert Smalls Parkway, 35 miles an hour. Heading toward Hilton Head, going to take you about 47 minutes. And across the area, no accidents to report. Let's take a live look outside Ogeechee Road at Quaco Road. You can already see folks out and about. Those red lights right now, the only thing to trip you up, but as the traffic starts starts to build today. If you want to take a look at it so you can avoid those problem areas, all you have to do is head to our website, wjcl.com/traffic.